Hey guys, Richard with Continuud here to talk about how health organizations are using telehealth to drive positive outcomes for their clients. If you've had any experience with healthcare during the last year, you know that the space has been rapidly transformed to a digital landscape. For some organizations, it's brand new territory that's dangerous and foreign, but for others, it's a welcome change that's ripe with possibility. No matter which opinion you have, one thing is certain: telehealth is here to stay. The reality is that during COVID, 72% of patients had their first telehealth visit. Even I had my first virtual visit in 2020, and I'm a techie. So providers had to step up and wade into unfamiliar waters to be able to stay connected with patients, and it's paying off. 3/4 of patients who had a visit during 2020 ended their virtual visit completely satisfied, and more than half of them agree that the ability to access their doctor via telehealth has improved their overall satisfaction with their provider. When patient satisfaction is up, you know you're on the right track. In fact, support for telehealth is so high among consumers, 3 in 4 patients now expect that it's going to be a standard part of their care, even after we go back to normal. 1 in 2 are willing to switch providers to make that happen. So like I said, telehealth is here to stay. Let's think about that for a minute. Telehealth is not only convenient for consumers, it's accessible. It eliminates a lot of the traditional barriers to care that under-resourced communities experience, and people get the care they need from the comfort of their own home. And not to detract from the main point, but let's consider for a moment the value that comfort plays in a provider and patient relationship. When a patient is comfortable and relaxed, they're more likely to be forthcoming in information and remember important details that can improve a provider's ability to deliver exceptional care. They're more likely to feel confident and in control of their healthcare experience, which plays a role in their outcomes. Telehealth can be wielded as a tool to break down traditional barriers to care, and in and of itself is a form of intervention that should be considered when developing a patient's journey. So, while we have the giant healthcare beast up and moving, what can we do to continue to make it better for everyone? Well, not every telehealth experience was perfect. In fact, less than half of consumers had a clear understanding of what they were supposed to do following a virtual visit. There's a clear opportunity to close the loop by implementing a virtual checkout process that mirrors the same experience as an in-person visit. That's going to look a little different for each provider, but the general idea is that you give clients a summary of their visit, a clear breakdown of action items that they're responsible for, and details on how they can continue receiving virtual care. Now, those are pretty broad strokes, so let's talk about what that might look like using digital tools. If you've ever worked with Continuud to implement digital infrastructure, you've probably used the online acuity scheduling platform. One of the key benefits of that platform is being able to send customized emails after an appointment takes place. These are pre-built messages that go out a certain amount of time after an appointment, and they allow you to drop in merge tags from a patient's profile. So if you have a post-visit notes section of a patient's profile and your team makes it a point to fill that out after every visit, you can include that field in the follow-up email that goes out to your clients. In addition, each type of appointment can also have its own follow-up email template, so you can provide different instructions and information based on why you were seeing that client. Now, that's just one simple example of how you can use tools that you may already have available in order to continuously improve the patient's experience, which in turn will impact their clinical outcomes. We still have a long way to go and a lot of opportunity ahead of us in the digital healthcare space, but we have made tremendous progress in the last year, and patients are responding really well to telehealth. We need to continue listening to their needs, and we need to innovate around the access to and quality of healthcare. If you ever want to chat about ideas to move your organization forward in the digital care space, reach out. Continuud is always happy to help.